Gamers. Yo, Zol, thank you for the 100 biddies. As Zol just said, I think this could all be fixed with a black screen with white text. We are going to watch the writer that single-handedly ruined a multi-million-dollar game. Billion, by the way. Multi-billion-dollar game. Shaoji got praised so hard, bro. Xiaoji got praised so hard from Honkai Impact 3rd, and I played up to chapter 11 or 12. Obviously, chapter 9, nuclear cinema, but right, like with the whole Himiko stuff. But I really did have high expectations for Penacony, because I think the idea of Penacony is honestly amazing. And there was parts of the first act I didn't like. I really enjoyed the second act, although there was a lot of fluff. I still really enjoyed it. Everything from the third act onwards ruined Honkai Star Rail for me. No, you're chilling, Soul. You're chilling. Everything from the third act ruined that game because the third act killed all suspension of disbelief, killed any suspense at all. Power creep, but if you're honing in on the storytelling was horrible, and yeah, it was bad. Also, Sparkle was useless. You do that quest, and it turns out to just be fireworks. So the whole Sparkle thing was stupid. It feels like a big nothing burger. It feels like a big waste of time. There's nothing ever at stake. It's just a waste. So yeah. Also, I agree with you, Emily.
The development of many different media. Yes, universally, at least one of the goals for a business is to make profit. That's common sense, and I won't argue with anyone on that. I just don't understand why a creator would make their product worse on purpose, like when it's not required, leading their product down to a path of irrelevance in the long run. What's up? I'm Zuri. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. I've been playing Honkai Star Rail since release, only having stopped playing a few months ago, and I'm pissed off.
I'm pissed off.
Organized with this introduction, but I will absolutely rip this game to shreds if I must.
Yes.
I love keyword ED. Love this game.
Yes,
but I cannot stand his storytelling anymore.
Yeah.
Not just his storytelling, but his gameplay. Comment. I want to know what you think of Honkai Star Rail now. Love it, hate it.
Ass.
Well, I hate it now, but give me a minute to explain why.
You don't gotta explain it.
Also, like the video if you want to hear more. I post
videos
about art and Gacha mostly. But this video will be my critique on the story, but also how the gameplay and new characters impact the story. I'm going to be doing this in a little bit of a timeline format, so it's easier to consume. I might miss some things and leave stuff out of the picture, but I'm going to sum up my main ideas, my main ideas. If I mention something, I might not bring it up again, but it may still be an issue, so just bear with me. Starting from the beginning, 1.0 release, skipping the tutorial phase, which I think was interesting and adequately...
1.0 was really good. The first area was good, the second area was okay, but the first area was literally perfect. The whole Kafka stuff, perfect.
Introduced important concepts, but... yeah, we're keeping the first part of 1.0 out, but I personally think Belobog's story, which is the second half of 1.0, was paced really well and stayed engaging throughout. While it didn't explore any bold or standout concepts, it felt like a safe story in a good way. It was simple, understandable, and effective, which is exactly how I think all stories should start. Despite its simplicity, it was still vibrant and interesting. The characters were well developed, their archetypes were represented perfectly, and the dialogue was tight and purposeful, not overly long and sluggish like what you sometimes see in Gacha.
I hate Belobog.
With the Xianzhou Luofu.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think Belobog did a perfect job of setting the framework, setting emotional attachment. The setting was great. I think Belobog was amazing. I think Belobog was great. The Kokolia boss fight, to me, is a top 5 Gacha boss fight of all time out of all the 10 Gachas I played. I'm sorry that's not enough for you, Tuhu. But yeah, I think Belobog was great. You know, the actual acquisition of the element, Dustin by the winds, right? The acquisition of the element felt so important because of the fact that it was tied to the story, and it was tied to the story in such a meaningful way, right? Yeah, I don't like Xianzhou Luofu. It was all right. It was okay.
Many people, when the game first released, were disappointed at the lack of content that the Xianzhou offered, and all I gotta say is,
13 Gachas.
You contributed to this future.
Yep.
Partially.
Yep.
These content creators and hardcore players will always be the loudest voices within the community because they're always interacting with it. The casual or free-to-play players will just play the game like any other mobile gamer and finish the stories when they have time. But for these hardcore players and content creators, they finish the media within 3 days or essentially the fastest they can because they don't want to get behind on content. This would lead the game to take the criticism that they weren't putting enough content in the game, leading to a shitty solution, which I will address in a minute. I personally enjoyed the Xianzhou story. Although there was much to explore, so many plot threads that need to be tied, I believe that they would be addressed considering we had reoccurring characters like Dan Heng, who would always be integrated with the past no matter what, is what I thought. The story overall was not taxing to play. It was fun to watch people's reactions, and the quest never...
I wonder, what is the runtime of Xianzhou Luofu compared to Penacony? If anyone could find that statistic for me, that'd be amazing. Because I don't remember it having a lot of fluff. It did have a lot of jargon. It had a lot of jargon. A lot of jargon that I was not a fan of. That I didn't like. That I did not like.
Felt too long to get his point through. But then, 2.0. It all starts with one
So my
name.
dick down on.
Shaoji.
Bro.
Shaoji Luofu.
What an overrated motherfucker, man.
This is a message to you. You.
Yeah, bro. He fucked it up.
Honkai Star Rail. This was the shitty solution I'm talking about.
And the community
ate this shit up. Oh my god, he directed Honkai Impact and Legend One story, which means it must be good.
Nope.
You have never touched that game in your life.
Nope.
And people agree that his form of storytelling
so my dick
is just not
3.
it. But regardless, I'd like to keep this on a timeline, so yeah, Xiaozhou Luofu joins the team. I want you to guess how long the 1.2 and 1.4 quest is versus the 2.0.
The Lu is 20 hours?
I'm skipping 1.0
really?
Because it includes all the tutorial features and blah, 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 blah. But believe it or not, that story quest is still shorter than 2.0, despite having 2 complete arcs in it. 1.2 and 1.4
Are making a joke?
Took 2 to 3 hours to complete each.
Misinformation.
2.0, with our narrative director, Xiaozhou Luofu, was 7 to 8 hours. What fraction of a story needs 7 hours of my life to complete?
Dude, when I was doing the Penacony story, it was the 3rd act. I did get drunk. I got drunk a little bit before, but I did the 3rd act, and it got to the point where I was just falling asleep. I was so over it. Like at first I was excited, but then like I was just over. I was like, dude, I don't care, man. Look at the dislike ratio. 426 dislikes to 269. I want to make this very clear. Anytime I've criticized Hoyoverse, I've wound up being right. You don't see it initially, but I wind up being correct. And my thought at the time was this fucking sucked. And guess what? It aged and everyone's like, wow, I guess it was bad. And so just remember that before you try to sit there and attack me and tell me to kill myself. Dude, look at myself. Look at me.
Oh, look at that. I came full circle.
Where are you going?
Shut the fuck up, Clocky. Little bitch ass.
Yo, bro, you can't make that shit up. You can't make that shit up, man. Perfect timing.
Last night,
little did he know there was 3 hours left.
I had a long dream about...
Write it down.
Oh, so I won't forget.
Oh my god, I actually forgot about this. Bro, I was so sauced in the first 2 hours. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it.
None. Deltarudo's a game currently with, I think, 2 chapters.
God.
Takes 6 hours to complete. The whole thing. The entire Undertale game takes 6 to 10 hours depending on which route you take. You're telling me that 1/3 of the full Penacony main story takes 7 hours to complete. You're out of your goddamn mind.
That's just the first part, baby. That's just the first part.
Okay,
Shut the
I'll
fuck
give
up,
it benefit of
Clocky.
the doubt. Long doesn't necessarily mean bad in many cases. You could have many different plots addressed and it all be comfortable to consume. After all, many people did want more story and, they just made the dialogue walls of text and inhuman.
I think Shaoji had to be paid per character. Shaoji had to be paid per every single character that he is that he wrote. Like genuinely. It has to be. It has to be.
Say, I enjoyed Penacony's mains.
Limbus chapters are only a few hours long. No Kanto is 20 hours, assuming you don't get hard stuck on a fight. The thing is with Limbus Company, the reason why I wouldn't even mind if it was 20 hours is because of the fact that the story is actually compelling and you know what you're going into, right? You always got AI. You know that you're going into a visual novel experience. Honkai Star Rail is not supposed to just be a visual novel. You know what I'm saying?
Story. However, everybody needs to admit that at some point this trash was
as long as the story's
long.
good as well, exactly.
Do I think Hoyoverse will listen? Maybe. Because goddamn, the game was so good a year ago, but now... I personally think that the...
Also, sidebar, guys, the new trailer of Squid Game came out, so we're going to watch that after this. Emily, get excited.
best scenes were hands down any moments with Dr. Ratio adventuring Sunday and Robin. Dr. Issue and Aventurine were so liked because their dialogue didn't sound retardedly long or inhuman, because the bulk of their conversations were snappy banter, and within those conversations we naturally learned about the characters, their relations, their fears, and their desires. Sunday and Robin, yes, I will say that a lot of the text was too fucking long when we went into those flashbacks, but if there was any character that I feel would talk inhumanly about philosophy like they'd be having everybody and their mama do in this game, it would be Sunday and Robin. These two represent the main themes, even though you may not have known because...
I feel like Sunday would be the type of dude to get shoved into a locker in high school. That motherfucker just pissed me off so much. I think the only really well-written character is Aventurine. After that, the thing with Firefly was I wasn't emotionally attached to her. You know, when she died for the first time, I felt kind of sad a bit, but not really. Like, I didn't really feel anything. And then when I saw she came back, I was like, well, good thing I didn't feel anything for this, because they just brought her back immediately, you know?
Because the game is terrible at telling its own story.
The only one that's building her up, exactly.
Representing Enna of the Order, and Robin representing Shippei of the Harmony. These are important in-game religions that give the characters powers. Robin, notably, was quieter and mostly let Sunday speak in the assumption that they were on the same page at the beginning. Like, they both followed the Harmony. I like that about them as well, the betrayal aspect of the relationship. Sunday, who once was supposed to represent Harmony, falling into a religion that he got groomed into from childhood. Now, I'll put a character on a screen for you. Who do you think this is?
The Gallagher shit was stupid.
Alright.
Gallagher shit was stupid.
Surely, this character is not the catalyst for Sunday's actions. And he definitely did not groom that little boy.
Oh, great heavens. Oh, great heavens.
Don't get any ideas, okay?
Oh, times two.
This is Gopher Wood, or the Dream Master. One of the many names thrown around that people mixed up for other non-visually represented characters such as the Watchmaker, the Dream Chasers, or Oak Family Administrators. Gopher Wood, in the story, could have been visually shown. Should have been visually shown. He spoke with Sunday before the Harmony Festival.
You're expecting way too much for them to do that, I'm sorry to tell you. Instead, you ever see that meme from Pawn Stars? I can't show it because it'll get copyright. But instead, here's what I could offer you. Here's what I could offer you instead. LOL. Nah, lil bro. We ain't showing that. Shaoji. Bam. Nah, lil bro. Nah, lil bro. We ain't got that in the budget. We ain't got that in the budget for this month. Maybe next month, baby. Maybe next month. But not right now, lil bro. Not right now, lil bro.
Which is an insanely important plot point where Sunday questions the Order, the religion he got groomed into, indicating his independence and chance for change. Now,
we are either right now.
Because of my present research, but like, what the hell? So much confusion could have been dispelled if Gopher Wood was given a physical form in the dream, or if some events were visually shown, such as the rebels within Penacony causing real deaths from arson, including Gopher Wood's death, leaving his consciousness in the dream. Shoji wouldn't do that. He'd rather fill the story with useless dialogue. For the man, Gopher Wood, who raised one of our main antagonists to become the man he is today at the climax of the story, it's damn well interesting that the game was so lazy they wouldn't even make him a model. And I'm
really
pretty
sad
sure
to see.
The only official art of this guy.
They could have done anything, Emily. They could have done anything. Literally anything.
You could have all that writing, 24 plus hours of straight up story, and still not see some main and important characters even uniquely represented in the case that he really needs to be seen. Maybe even in some sort of memory or something that is a PNG, not just like a little item you get.
I know.
Dude looks so cool and you do nothing with the design. Then, continuing from the issues with Sunday and Gopher Wood in the Penacony main story, I want to move on to Misha and Gallagher. Then after that, the epilogue chapter.
I'm sorry, I didn't care about Misha. I didn't care. People say it's foreshadowing. Fuck you. That shit was random as fuck. But honing in on Gallagher now, because Gallagher was brought up. Gallagher had the... Gallagher had the perfect... Jack, I agree with 100%. They hired me in Tectone Lightwork. Gallagher had the perfect heel turn by attacking Sunday. And they dispelled that heel turn in 15 minutes of the update. And that's when I said, hey, man, I don't care anymore. I don't care. You've lost me. Because what you built up, and even with Booty Hill to me came off like he's going to kill the Astral Express. And then he came there and did nothing. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it just felt like so many wasted characters, right? He's literally a wet heading. He has wet hair. What do we know?
Shares the same issue. the
I
lack
was like,
of
bro,
stakes,
come on, man.
and the bad
What are we
payoff.
doing?
At the end of whatever quest it was, where we were looking for the Watchmaker, who was the person who cordially invited the main characters to Penacony, the revelation in the end was that in Penacony, this world in a dream, Misha and Gallagher were both not real. They were just machinations within the dream developed to assist the Watchmaker.
Okay.
This is a really interesting concept.
He did have
but
potential.
It's sort of different when you fill this huge moment with, again, horribly written AI slop dialogue and bad pacing. Not just that, them not being real is revealed, and then we're never told what happens to them after.
Robin died,
By all
wait.
means,
Firefly,
with what we were
wait.
informed of, these
Wait.
characters should be okay in the dream, but they stop responding to messages and stop interacting. It just made a lot of people feel like shit, and feel like they played that for nothing. So much emotional potential for these characters. Gallagher and Misha could have gotten some sort of flashback sequence, so we didn't have to read through bloated dialogue, but Xiaoji wouldn't do that.
Nope.
Xiaoji loves his paragraphs of dialogue that you
Yep.
can't skip. I love
Yep.
the concept of Penacony. Just really bad execution. Moving on to the epilogue.
I hope someone takes the concept of Penacony and make it better. Because it really is a beautiful concept, and the scenery was beautiful, right? Like, I thought Star Rail had the chance to be that game, and it was for 2 patches. And then it fell off. Then they couldn't maintain it. They couldn't maintain
This
it.
was the update where
The
Sunday
epilogue-
and Tingyun's 5-star design were
The epilogue
released.
was insane.
Now, I did notice irrelevant characters being implemented in the story for the main Penacony quest
So many
for the
fake
sake of
death outs? Yep.
advertisement. Yes. Characters like
Yep.
Sparkle and Boot Hill really... We could have lived without them, but to give them grace, they integrated decently with the story, so
No, they didn't.
they weren't
That's a
entirely
lie.
useless.
No, they were
But
useless.
Tingyun...
What the fuck did Sparkle do other than set off fireworks and pretend to be a crazy bitch with a gun? She pretended to carry a fucking 9 on her with a switch to go grata-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and instead it was fireworks. It was fireworks. It was fireworks. What the fuck was it? Like she did nothing. She objectively did fucking nothing. Sparkle can never. It was a bomb fake out. That's all it was. It was a fucking bomb fake out. That is it. That is it.
Are you messing with me? Are you sure?
Sure feet, bro.
There
I'm gonna
was
kill you. I'm
no
kidding.
reason to have
Oh, Mickey
Tingyun
Mouse.
of all people in Penacony. That was the most immersion-breaking thing I have ever experienced. Sunday and Tingyun next to each other? What incarnation? For
Yeah.
anyone who needs context, Tingyun is from an entirely different planet, and she died on that planet. Why is this hoe on Penacony? Well, it's because she's a new banner character, and if you don't promote them in any way you can, well, that's just wasted time, ain't it, Xiaoji?
Shaoji.
Okay.
To me, the thing that kind of blows my mind a little bit more is that if they're going to use these stories to sell the characters, I feel like you would want to make the stories as... You know what? No. I was going to say you would want to make the story as intriguing as possible, because by creating more meaningful dialogue, showing instead of telling, etc., would lead to more banner sales. But the audience is so stupid, they just spend money no matter what, that it doesn't matter, right? And so people are still going to buy it, especially if it's meta aligned or it's a beautiful waifu. So realistically, they don't need to do that. They don't need to put in the effort on the story. Although people are now finally catching on, which I will take part of the credit for. I don't give a fuck. I absolutely will take part of the credit for that. People are now finally catching on, and they have to pivot a little bit. I don't know how much they're really pivoting, but you know. So it's really sadly I'm down with that. But bro, I'm Goblin of Archer already. Fucking useless. You useless motherfucker. 100 million vanilla for Castris. Absolutely.
So let's ignore the immersion-breaking Tingyun.
Also, what's going on? How you feeling, Told?
Sunday. After being run over by a train and defeated, literally, he was split in 2. That is at least how I will interpret it. Sunday's controlling an order-driven demeanor as
He was split
one,
into 2,
then the manifestation of his trauma in past self and dreams made into another Sunday named 1 Week. Although this quest is heavily dented with Tingyun's random immersion-breaking experience, I will ignore that. The dialogue between the Sundays actually weren't horrible. It's the choice in the end that confuses me. 1 Week, this manifestation of
Ren?
Sunday who represented his traumas in history, could have been used to strengthen or make clear plot points that involved him. But that didn't happen. And they just essentially killed 1 Week in the end by merging him with Sunday. Sunday didn't even change or have some crazy plot development. 1 Week, truly, in my opinion, was the better Sunday, and they should have either kept them split or never split them in the first place, because sacrificing characters such as 1 Week for Sunday, only for Sunday to say something along the lines of,
didn't have a
I don't
conflict?
know
Yeah.
where he starts and I begin, I don't even feel a difference, is not really encouraging. After Penacony, we returned to the Xianzhou. The new story is decent. It's filler, but you know, it's
I didn't pay
enjoyable
attention.
enough.
I didn't do it.
What
I
really
checked out
frustrates
at this
me
point.
though is how Dan Heng is handled. This is a character who's
I don't think Don Hung ever goes back to Bibbidi Libbidi mode, right? Also, Shim, we can get to that in a moment. I don't think it's all mainstream gachas. I guess you could say that for Genshin and HSR, but I think ZZZ has done a very good job as well as Wuwa. So it's 2 out of the Hoyoverse games right now,
arc
right?
began in the Xianzhou storyline, and it was revealed that he had been imprisoned in the Shackling prison, this maximum security facility,
Same.
where he endured years of abuse and isolation.
Same.
And now, we return to that same prison with Dan Heng present, and he only gets like 2 brief lines
Oh, yeah.
acknowledging his past trauma.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Oh, that shit hurt a dude. That shit hurt a dude.
No real exploration. Like,
That was
bro,
my fault.
your ass got abused in here, and you're just saying shit like, wow, this place brings back memories. Yes, it does. But missed opportunity. Now, okay. We're gonna go to Amphorius 3.0. The
Amphorius
most
is
recent
trash,
major
bro.
update and the news zone.
Amphorius is so dog
Sunday
shit.
is now introduced as one of the reoccurring characters, which I think is pretty
fuck
cool.
me.
But
No,
Lord,
kill him. Kill him.
I could not take the amount of horrible dialogue there was at the beginning of this quest, and like, I'm gonna be honest, I gave up. I played 2 hours of the story, barely got anywhere, but
I quit when I was watching my girlfriend play it, and we got to the part in the waterfall where it's the fairies talking about the Greek mythology, and it's just a still image of waterfall with a fairy flying. And then after that, the fairy was like, "You don't like the way I'm telling the story, do you? Well, how about I tell it a different way?" And they get out another fucking fairy, and the fairy sounds like Paimon. And then I said, "You can close the game. I saw everything I needed to see. I'm okay." And I stopped since. Nothing will convince me to watch that horrible dog shit. And yeah, I'm good. I'm absolutely good on that. Now, you know what really pissed me off about that scene? That it fucking existed. That's what pisses me off, that they trolled motherfuckers. Mimi, bro, it was like, okay, glad I didn't even attempt 3.0. Thought that scene was mocking the players. Absolutely, that's exactly what it was. Yo, we're good, Omni. What up, baby? That shit was mocking the players, legit. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're aware of it, and you're aware of it, like you're actively aware of it, right? So yeah.
okay.
Stupid
I'll
as
be
fuck.
real. We have another
Thought it was
Dan Heng
dumb.
issue. Why are we always forgetting about Dan Heng? At the beginning of the story, Dan Heng's weapon, the Cloud Piercer, gets snapped in half by one of the characters in Amphorius. Now,
Gulp?
why do I say that?
Gulp.
Is it because I hate how overpowered the Amphorius characters are, which is A. B, this scene was unnecessary, or C, missed potential with Dan Heng? The answer would be C. That sword was made by his best friend in a past life. Not just that best friend also happens to be the same man who's trying at every corner to fight him and stalk him. Honestly, I would have wanted at least a few statements about the Cloud Piercer from Dan Heng, reminding us what this sword was, reminding us of its importance.
Nah,
But
you're good on that, little bro.
He just...
You're chill. You're chill. You don't need all that. You don't
he
need all
just
that.
acts like it's nothing.
You don't need all that, little
Like,
bro.
his
Chill with that.
reaction is, oh,
Gulp.
wow, it's broken.
Oh,
I
no.
use this all the time.
Oh, wow.
I need a replacement now. Like, no shit. That's all that though. All I
Let him
gotta
come
say
down
is that I
when
can't
it fights?
continue the
I don't
story.
know.
It was too difficult to get through. I have like one friend who loves the story, loves
I have no clue.
the Amphorius story, but even she can't sit down for too long playing it. Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
don't blame them. I
Shout
don't blame
you.
them. Because it's banner bash. True. True.
You
Shout you
Step
fucking
down.
suck.
step down.
Fucking suck.
Or anybody who's above
You
Xiaozhou
fucking
Luofu,
idiot.
Get him fired.
Get him out.
Peace.
Get the motherfucker out of there. Fuck you, Shaoji, you dumb bitch.